Welcome to Celestial Zodiac. Today we're going to talk about the 7th house of the zodiac wheel. The 7th house in astrology represents relationships, partnerships, and how we connect with others on an equal level. After the 6th house focuses on work, responsibility, and daily functioning, the 7th house turns outward toward other people. This is the house of one-to-one relationships, including romantic partnerships, business partnerships, and close personal bonds. The 7th house asks how we relate, cooperate, and share life with others. The natural zodiac ruler of the 7th house is Libra, and its natural planetary ruler is Venus. This gives the 7th house a relational, diplomatic, and harmony-seeking quality. Elementally, it aligns with air and its modality is cardinal, meaning this house initiates connection and engagement with others. The 7th house answers the question, how do I meet others as an equal and what do I seek in partnership? Psychologically, the 7th house governs projection and mirroring. It reflects the parts of ourselves we recognize through relationships, as well as traits we may disown or overlook internally. This house shows how we learn about ourselves by interacting with others. Through partnership, we encounter qualities that challenge, complement, or balance our own identity. The 7th house also reveals patterns around attachment and relating. It reflects expectations, needs, and unconscious beliefs about partnership. These patterns often develop early in life through observing caregivers, family dynamics, and early relationships. Over time, they shape how we approach intimacy, compromise, and cooperation. Externally, the 7th house governs committed relationships and formal partnerships. This includes marriage, long-term romantic bonds, business alliances, and contractual relationships. It also relates to how we engage with others socially, especially in situations that require negotiation, balance, and mutual understanding. The 7th house is about meeting others face to face and learning to function as part of a pair rather than as a solo individual. On an inner level, the 7th house represents the need for connection and reflection. While the 1st house establishes identity, the 7th house shows how identity is refined and understood through others. It governs the desire to be seen, acknowledged, and understood within relationships. This house highlights how self-awareness deepens through interaction and shared experience. The 7th house also governs how we experience ourselves through contrast. In relationship, differences become visible. We discover what we value, what we resist, and what we have not yet integrated internally. This is why the 7th house is often described as a mirror. Partners reflect both our strengths and our blind spots, revealing qualities we may struggle to recognize on our own. This mirroring process can feel affirming or uncomfortable depending on awareness. When unconscious, it may lead to repeated relationship patterns, conflict, or attraction to familiar dynamics that echo early experiences. When conscious, it becomes a powerful tool for growth. The 7th house teaches that relationships are not just about connection, but about self-understanding. Through others, we learn who we are becoming. The 7th house also brings awareness to balance. It reveals how comfortable we are with compromise and whether we lean toward independence or dependence in relationships. When balanced, this house supports healthy cooperation. When challenged, it can manifest as people-pleasing, conflict avoidance, or power struggles. The 7th house reveals an important distinction between authentic partnership and projection. In relationships, we often attribute qualities to others that reflect unrecognized aspects of ourselves. This can lead to attraction, conflict, or idealization. Understanding this dynamic helps transform relationships from unconscious repetition into conscious growth. When projection is recognized, relationships become spaces for self-understanding rather than blame. In everyday life, the seventh house shows up in how we interact with partners, close friends, and collaborators. It influences communication style, conflict resolution, and expectations of fairness. Others may experience your seventh house through your ability to listen, compromise, and engage respectfully, or through difficulty asserting needs if harmony is prioritized at the expense of authenticity. Behaviorally, this house affects how people respond to conflict and closeness. A strong seventh house emphasis often brings awareness of others, diplomacy, and relational skill. When challenged, it can manifest as fear of confrontation, dependency, or repeated patterns of imbalance. Some individuals may lose themselves in relationships, while others may resist commitment entirely. When planets are placed in the seventh house, relationships become a major life focus. These planets shape how partnership is experienced and what qualities are emphasized in close bonds. Because the seventh house is relational, planets here often operate through other people rather than in isolation. For example, the Sun in the seventh house emphasizes identity through partnership and collaboration. The Moon in the seventh house brings emotional sensitivity and a strong need for connection. Venus in the seventh house enhances harmony, affection, and relationship focus. Mars in the seventh house can bring passion, conflict, or strong dynamics within partnership. Regardless of the planet, placements here amplify relational themes and make partnership a central area of life experience. The ruling planet of the seventh house is Venus. This ruler governs attraction, values, and harmony. To understand how the seventh house operates in a chart, you look at the sign on the seventh house cusp and then locate where Venus is placed. The condition of Venus reveals how relationships are approached and what someone seeks in partnership. A well-supported Venus often indicates ease in relating, appreciation for balance, and the ability to create harmony. A challenged Venus may suggest difficulty with boundaries, people-pleasing, or dissatisfaction in relationships. Because the seventh house deals with equality and exchange, its ruler plays a significant role in relationship satisfaction. When functioning well, the seventh house provides strengths such as cooperation, diplomacy, empathy, and relational awareness. This house supports meaningful connection, mutual respect, and the ability to build lasting partnerships. A healthy seventh house allows individuals to maintain individuality while engaging fully with others. However, the seventh house also has challenges and a shadow side. When overemphasized, it can lead to dependency, loss of self, or avoidance of conflict in order to preserve harmony. People may prioritize others' needs over their own or struggle to assert boundaries. When underdeveloped, this house can manifest as fear of commitment, isolation, or difficulty trusting others. Another challenge of the seventh house involves unrealistic expectations of partnership. Idealizing relationships or expecting others to provide fulfillment can lead to disappointment. This house teaches that healthy relationships require mutual effort, honesty, and balance rather than perfection. Another key challenge of the seventh house involves boundaries and power balance. In the desire for harmony, individuals may suppress personal needs or avoid difficult conversations. Over time, this can create resentment or imbalance within relationships. Alternatively, fear of losing autonomy may lead to resistance against closeness altogether. Both patterns reflect difficulty integrating self and other. The seventh house asks for conscious participation in relationship rather than passive accommodation. Healthy partnership requires both openness and self-responsibility. When boundaries are respected and communication is honest, balance becomes dynamic rather than forced. Learning to navigate difference without losing selfhood is one of the most important lessons of this house. Growth in the 7th house comes from developing conscious partnership. This means learning to communicate openly, address conflict constructively, and maintain self-awareness within relationship. Conscious use of this house involves recognizing projections and taking responsibility for one's role in relational patterns. A balanced 7th house supports equal exchange, emotional maturity, and authentic connection. It allows relationships to become spaces of growth rather than repetition. Awareness of this house transforms partnership into a mirror for self-development and deeper understanding. The 7th house works as part of the larger house system. It stands opposite the 1st house of identity, forming the axis of self and other. While the 1st house asks, "Who am I?" the 7th house asks, "Who are we together?" Understanding this polarity clarifies how individuality and partnership coexist and support one another. The 7th house marks the transition from personal development to relational experience. It opens the chart to shared life, cooperation, and meaningful connection. Without this house, growth remains isolated. With it, life becomes relational and reflective. In upcoming videos, we'll continue exploring the astrology houses step by step, building a complete picture of how different areas of life unfold within the chart. Understanding the houses helps you understand where your life unfolds. This is just the beginning. Thank you for watching Celestial Zodiac. If you found this breakdown of the 7th house helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so you don't miss the rest of the series.